All right, let's talk about AI. If you really want to unlock its true power, it all comes down to one single thing: learning how to ask the right way. So, this is your guide to mastering what we call prompt engineering.
You know the feeling, right? You ask your AI for something, and what you get back is, well, it's just generic, bland, and completely unhelpful. It's so frustrating. It's like you're trying to manage a lazy intern who just doesn't seem to get it, no matter how many times you explain.
So often, the difference between a total failure and a huge success comes down to something just like this. On one side, you have write an article. That's a recipe for a generic disaster, right? It gives the AI absolutely nothing to work with. But then you look at the other prompt. It's specific, it's detailed, it's packed with context. That specificity, that's where all the magic happens. Here's probably the best way to think about it. Your AI is like a brilliant intern. It's super smart, it's eager to help, but it has zero experience in your specific task. It doesn't know your context, your goals, or your background. So your job is to be the manager, the one who provides all that crucial context through really clear, detailed instructions.
Okay, so let's get right into what prompting really is. Because this isn't about learning to code or finding some secret technical hack. Nope, it's about becoming a better communicator with, well, some of the most powerful tools we have today. It's a communication superpower.
At its core, this is all we're really talking about. Prompt engineering is just the art of giving really clear instructions. It's about you being the director of the movie, not just someone sitting in the audience, right? You're in charge of your interaction with the AI.
So yeah, you can totally forget the whole idea of secret tricks or hacks. The people who are best at this stuff, they're not wizards. They're just incredibly clear and thoughtful communicators. And the best part is, it's a skill that literally anyone can learn. Okay, so how do we actually build these perfect prompts? Well, it turns out there's a pretty simple, repeatable framework for success. Let's break down the 5 essential ingredients that'll turn a basic request into a seriously powerful command. And here it is. The framework is role, context, task, examples, and constraints. Just think of these as the 5 key ingredients for any great prompt. If you make sure to include each one, you're setting yourself and your AI up for a big win.
First up, we've got role. And let me tell you, this one is incredibly powerful. When you tell the AI who to be, you're giving it a specific lens to see the world through. It immediately shifts from being a jack-of-all-trades generalist to an expert, which instantly refines its tone, its vocabulary, and its focus. It's a game changer.
All right, next up, context. This is basically the who, what, where, and why behind your request. Who are you trying to reach? What's the ultimate goal here? Giving the AI all this background information helps it tailor the response to your exact scenario. It's what takes the output from generic to perfectly customized.
And step 3 is the task. This needs to be a crystal clear, actionable instruction. I'm talking about using a strong verb. So, not do something about sales, but something like draft a persuasive sales pitch or generate 5 advertising concepts. You got to be direct.
Now for the 4th element, giving examples. You know the old saying, show, don't tell? That's exactly what this is. By giving the AI a quick sample of the style or format you're looking for, you give it a super clear target to aim for. It's kind of like handing it a perfect template to follow. And finally, we have constraints. Think of these as your guardrails. You're telling the AI what to do, but, and this is just as important, you're also telling it what not to do. Things like word counts, specific tones, or vocabulary to avoid, all of this helps keep the output focused and stops it from going way off track.
Okay, so that's the theory. But let's get practical. How does this 5-part framework actually apply to the real world? Because let's be honest, this is where you can start saving a massive amount of time in your day-to-day work.
Take marketing, for instance. You could tell the AI to act as a seasoned SEO expert. Then you give it the context, your blog's audience, the goal of driving more traffic, and then, bam, you task it with generating keyword-rich post ideas, or even drafting whole articles. It's a huge, huge time saver. Or what about sales? Imagine having your AI act as a market research analyst. You give it a target company's the context, and then ask it to summarize their latest earnings call to find their key pain points. All of a sudden, your pre-call prep is not only faster, but way more insightful. This is also super powerful for customer service. You could define the role of a top-tier support agent. Give it your brand's friendly tone as context, and then generate a whole library of empathetic and accurate replies for all those common questions. Think about the consistency that brings to your team. Now, of course, with all this power,
comes responsibility. It's not just about getting amazing results, it's about making sure we're using these tools safely and ethically. So let's cover some really crucial ground rules.
Here are the 3 most common mistakes I see beginners make. First, being too vague. We've talked about that one. Second, overloading a single prompt with way too many tasks. You got to break it down. And finally, not iterating. Your first prompt is just a draft. You have to treat this like a conversation and refine it.
Okay, this is something you absolutely have to be aware of. AI can hallucinate. What does that mean? It means it can literally invent facts or sources that sound completely real, but they're not. That's why it's so important to treat AI as a creative collaborator, not as a source of absolute truth. Always, always fact-check important information.
And this really brings us to our responsibility as users. We have to use these tools with respect, always push for accuracy, communicate in an inclusive way, and, look, this one is absolutely non-negotiable. We have to protect privacy. That means never, ever use AI to request personal information about private individuals.
So, after all of that, what's the big takeaway here? What's the main thing you should be thinking about as you move forward with this new skill? You know, when it comes right down to it, mastering AI is really about improving how you think and, more importantly, how you ask. The quality of what you get out of it will always be a direct reflection of the quality of what you put in. Look, this isn't just another technical skill. It's a creative one. You now have the framework to communicate with one of the most powerful technologies ever invented. So the only question that's really left is, what are you going to build with it?